That's what's up, bro. Well, hey, we back up in that thing. It's another episode of Ultra Fly Talk, you know?
Technology working out for us once this fucking week. Thank God.
Hey, bro, that should kind of we should kind of start with that. I don't know if you want to start
Oh,
with your story or you want me to start with my story telling the people.
you go ahead, man.
All right, so I go on my laptop, I'm doing my thing, making music, studying, and I go to sign off when I'm done at the end of the night, and it says like update and shut down, update and restart, update and log off, something like that. Like it had like multiple options. So me being tired, I click on update and shut down because I'm thinking I just wanted to shut down. Little do I know that it's going to update to from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And then when I actually sign in, none of my programs are going to work. Now, this is super frustrating because for me to click on the start menu, Trent, and not actually being able to, like, no start menu raised up. It was as if me clicking, like my mouse was, it wasn't working. I was clicking and no action happened. So I was like, what the heck? Bruh, I started clicking on different programs, like programs I used to make music, things like that. Wasn't working. I'm like, no. So then I have to go over to like get my laptop basically wiped clean. And on top of that, I had to go out of my way to get it. Like I had to pay like some like over $200, bro. I'm just hurt. Technology's been whooping my in the past like 2 weeks. Technology's been whooping my ass. And the only reason why I paid it, Trent, is because I needed it back within 2 days instead of waiting for the 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks that technically I have a warranty, and my warranty would have been able to like cover it, but I didn't want to wait that time because I have school starting soon. So it's like, so that month actually like matters. I can't just miss a whole month of school basically.
Exactly. Like fuck.
It's
I
BS, man.
had in first year my laptop I had at the time crashed right in the middle of like right before exams in like the last semester. That was the worst. Like I literally lost my mind at that point. Like I lost everything because I had all my notes and stuff on there, and I was like, oh god. But yeah, man, like fucking like you said, technology. It's been whooping my ass as well too. Like oh, switching. Literally, all we wanted to do was switch from the one I had here, the old internet provider to this new one we got on, and it was all good. Like the new one, they sent us the modem and everything as they do, but they didn't send like. So when Bell sent me the one I had before, it was like a modem and a router all in one sort of thing, like just in one like contraption. And I didn't think anything better of it because I've been like, that's been my reality for like the last 4 years.
Okay.
So here we are. I'm like, oh, why isn't this working? I was like, oh, we need a Wi-Fi router. So I went out and bought one at Walmart, good old Walmart. Uh, brought it back here. It was yesterday. Brought it back here, and I've set up a fucking Wi-Fi router before. This is nothing new for me. So I set it up, and it's just not working. And I'm like nothing's working. Like I can't get in. Like it's just not like it's set up and all that, but it's just not connecting with like the modem for some reason, even though it's all like plugged in.
Oh man.
I get on the horn to D-Link. Shout out to D-Link. Terrible company. Terrible friggin' product.
Word.
But anyways, I was on with one tech and he said this, and then he showed me like I was talking about with like, yeah, you got a bunch of like the only way I can put is like leeches on like your network, just like sucking up, like trying to get into bandwidth and whatnot. So hence why my thing was so bogged down for so long. I was like, oh god. So they had to clean that off and all that. And he's like, oh yeah, we'll also get you a guy will call you back in a bit to like help set up the router and all that. So then the second tech called and he helped. I was on the phone with him for 2 hours, Graham, just trying to set up this damn router, and it wouldn't work. And he's doing like he's taking control of my like laptop, and he's doing like going in and doing like all technical stuff and like coding and like prompting and all that. Nothing. It didn't work. And he's like, well, he told me to call my internet provider and see what I could do from there. So then we called the internet provider, third technician. He couldn't figure it out. So he said, you know what? take the damn thing back. It's not working, it's not compatible and all that. And then so today brought it back, got the refund, went to another store completely and bought a little bit more higher end one. And it took me like 15 minutes. And here we are. Fucking nuts. Like I was losing my mind yesterday, man. Like I just wanted a little win and couldn't get it.
I feel you, bro. And it's kind of like a life lesson in that regard. Not to say that everything that costs more automatically means that it's going to be better, but it's kind of like you can check and see if the quality of the product is a bit better than the product that you had just had. When you said D-Link, it's funny because I remember that from back when in like my high school days when I was playing like Call of Duty and I was using like, you might be able to, some people who had D-Link, that router, sometimes they didn't have like a password on their router. So when you talk about leeches or whatever, sometimes people would be out here like I'd be out here using like somebody else's stuff to be playing video games. I mean, my parents had internet and I'd use my parents, but say I someone else in the house wanted to use my Ethernet cable to plug into their laptop, do schoolwork, whatever. I would use the Wi-Fi, but from someone else, which is so funny because nowadays, obviously, everybody and their cousin has a password on their Wi-Fi, but it's just funny to think like 10 years ago, some people would still be wild and not have a password.
Somebody I used to know, they taught me a way to hack like their Wi-Fi things for a specific company around here because it was just so shittily like guarded at the time. So I literally I
was gonna say, bro, just take it easy, bro. Take it easy. We don't want to get you in trouble.
I never actually tried it. But like it was so easy. It was just like this is all you just need this, and then whatever they're like whatever it came up as sort of thing. It was like this is ridiculous, like how easy it is. Like, and I've used other people's Wi-Fi with it on the sly like that before, but like never, but like literally like just this is all you need to get into it at that point in time. Now I doubt it's that easily, but like it's just crazy, man.
Most people updated and upgraded at like all different types of like Wi-Fi protection or whatever. And it's like, it's a good thing because you don't want people being able to just access your internet, especially if they are capable to do the hacking to access your personal files and such. But it's like as we're speaking about our little technical difficulties that we've had throughout the past couple of weeks. Yeah, bro. Although mine wasn't as bad, like I did spend some time on the phone with a technician for like, let's just say 15 to 20 minutes. But it sucks because he was saying all different types of stuff like, yeah, like the issue you have, your warranty covers it, da 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 da. I get to the actual Best Buy and they're like, no, your warranty doesn't cover it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I'm like, I was talking to someone who was looking at the exact same file that you are looking at on your computer. And they were saying, bro, I was so frustrated. But at the same time, I took a deep breath and said, okay. So you're telling me it's not covered? Like me to send in, get my software basically wiped clean and basically added in a new operating system to my laptop. He's like, it's covered, but like, at first he's like, no, it's not covered. But then next he's like, it is covered, but it's going to take 2 to 4 weeks for us to send it out, have them do the work and then bring it back. Or we can do it within the next, let's just say 48 hours and it's going to cost this amount. I'm like, respectfully, if I'm going to pay this amount, I need it done like by tomorrow. And it's like, it wasn't about being a jerk or trying to like tell them how to do their job or what to do. I promise you it wasn't. It was more about saying, if you're going to finesse me out this money, I'm getting convenience, like immediate convenience where like make this a priority. He's like, hey, I got you, da 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 da. But the only thing that sucks about those types of things, bro, is these technicians have the intelligence and know-how to like get into your personal files and look at your personal files. On top of that, you're giving them your laptop, more or less, you're giving them your password too, so they can obviously access your laptop. So a part of me thinks like, yo, some of these dudes be out here wilding and just sick and shit, as far as looking at your pictures and stuff.
Oh, there definitely
deleted a whole bunch of stuff, but what you were saying?
There's definitely is, but like it's like you can't really do much about that at that point. It's just it's kind of that trust. It was like what we were talking about. It's kind of having to trust somebody else with your shit. And at that point, it's just like, well, they're being paid to be like this, like discreet and whatnot.
I was gonna say I deleted most of my shit. Like, not that I would have any like negative pictures or whatever the case is. But I'm just saying, if I did have any personal information, like stuff with like my like bank account information, if I ever had any files with that, I would delete the shit out of that. Not saying they couldn't have the wherewithal to retrieve that type of stuff that was deleted. And I don't mean recycle bin. I mean like deleted from the recycle bin. Maybe they can retrieve that shit too, but it's like I at least did my best to make sure that certain files weren't just kept there before bringing it in for them to wipe it clean. I don't know, it's different, bro. Like you think about it, like yeah, we're talking about technicians, but then you think about other professions like doctors, nurses, accountants, like people who bank tellers, people who deal with extremely personal information, like doctors who deal with you, like they see physical people, aka they might see people naked to check if they have cancer and stuff like that. All these different professions and stuff like that, where we might say, yeah, but they're professionals and they're being paid, but it's like these are still people. AKA, if they're looking at your body parts or whatever the case is, say you're not sick, you're healthy. You're still being looked at in an attractive way, granted, if you're healthy and stuff. If you have cancer and stuff, unfortunately, they're going to be like, dang, we got to tell this person he has a broken arm or he has cancer or whatever. But if you're healthy and you're a young man doctor and you're examining a young woman, you still could be attracted to that woman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different approach, bro. Maybe people might look at me like, oh, Graham, you're being weird, but nah, I'm just.
It's definitely a valid concern. Like,
it's strange.
Even, like, I think when it comes to like doctors and all that, there's definitely like a higher standard, like malpractice and all that thing, and legal ramifications to all that, especially for what you were talking about there. Like, yeah, there's a lot more like higher standards for them than there is like Joe Blow working at Computer Repair Shop Inc. Like you could sue him, like maybe, but like as far as like you could sue a doctor too, but like as far as a doctor goes, they're held to a higher standard than all that. They have to go through like a certification board. They have to like adhere to a lot more like ethical standards, so to speak, than anything else. And yeah, granted, the ethics, we could debate those till the end of time, because that's basically what we've been doing since the Greeks. We'll start with them. But anyways, like it's just a matter of, once again, it's like putting your trust in a medical professional, and hopefully they have your best interest in heart. And like, I hate to say it, but like, oh, big kitty on, but like around here, like where I am, like you're not getting the cream of the crop when it comes to the doctors. Like granted, like my doctor doing this and my brain doctor, they're two great doctors and they've been nothing but fantastic. But like my family doctor, he graduated bottom of his class. It's a thing. Everybody knows it. It's something you can look up, but like, that's kind of the stuff. But like, it's better than no doctor at all, I guess, but it's still at the same time.
Even that, Trent, looking at it from that standpoint, not saying that because for example, not saying he took this approach, but let's just say he graduated bottom of his class, but after he graduated, he went above and beyond to keep learning, keep expanding himself, getting more information so that he can be the best doctor possible. Meaning, okay, he might have graduated low, but that didn't mean that he doesn't have the knowledge of an A+ student now type shit. You know what I mean? True. Like, I don't know. I obviously don't know your doctor. I'm just saying as an example, because
I'm not going to slander him. I'm just going to say, I hope what you're saying is the case.
maybe. But it's just, you're right. People have they have the capability. I guess the point I was just making was that people have the capability of being people, that human error, things like that. Not talking about malpractice, but I mean, like, savage as it is, seriously, like if you're a man and you are a doctor, or like, for example, like the doctors who check women's areas for, cancer and all that different stuff. If you're a man doing that job, in my opinion, there's something a little weird about you. Like, and it's not about saying it on a judgmental standpoint. I'm saying it on a standpoint of, because it's not about saying you have to be a woman to do this, you have to be a man to do this, but it's like you choosing to specialize only in that field makes me think that's like, and I get it, don't get me wrong, you can have a situation where your mom might have went through some type of like cervical cancer, so now you have some type of thing in your brain to always want to try to heal a woman's like vagina or whatever. But I don't know, it's just that from I have a different approach when I think of certain people doing certain things, because it's not about judgment, it's more about thinking, well, asking the question why, maybe. and again, maybe it's not my business, but I still would want to ask, just to see where people's mindset is. Because if you're giving people that ultimate trust to see your private areas and things of that nature, you want to have a little bit or know a little bit of their background.
True.
You don't know anything about these people because they're technically strangers. You're just entrusting the fact that they have gone to school for X amount of years. They have the degree hanging up on the wall to say that they've learned this amount of information. But that's about it that you have on them, unless they start to develop a rapport, unless they start to share real, true, genuine stories about their life. Other than that, you're kind of dealing with a stranger who just, again, knows what they're doing, so to speak.
That's pretty much it. Like anytime like you go to the Emerge or whatever, like you don't know like your one-to-one doctor. Like both times for this, I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. And then both times I had two really good doctors. So it was just like, hey, roll the dice with that one. But I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. It's just definitely some people's callings just you just have your calling, I guess. It's as strange as it may be, but like, hey man, some people just they found what they enjoy or they found like what they excel at and they do what they've done with it, like for good, for ill, for however else. But like as long as it's like you said, not like being used for any nefarious purposes or anything like that, then as long as it's not used or not done from like a weird fucked up place. Like
no, and don't get me wrong, that's why I said it's not about judgment, because it's not about me saying that this person's automatically like a sicko. But it's more of saying, like, if you're going to be a male and specialize, like, for example, if you're a male surgeon and you only specialize in doing like plastic surgery on women's bodies, no male bodies, just only, it makes you think like, okay, there has to be a little part of you that may, obviously, like you're a heterosexual man and you like women, whatever, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, there's like a different kind of like element that makes you want to specialize in that type of like being a surgeon for that. Like you can be a surgeon and be removing brain tumors and shit like that. But you're saying, no, I specifically want to add silicone to women or whatever. It's not about judgment, but it's more like there has to be like a kind of element that makes you want to specialize in certain practices. And that's why I'm saying I would want to ask that person, hey, well, why would you want to specialize? Even me, I'm trying to go into radiation therapy or maybe even be a wild person and just, if I have the intelligence, go above and beyond and somehow be a doctor. Who knows, Trent, where that rabbit hole can go. But what I'm saying is I want to attack these types of things because I've had certain family members, unfortunately, who have had cancer and things of that nature and who have gotten rid of it, or certain people who have succumbed to it. It makes you think like, okay, that adds to a person's reason why. You know what I mean? That's why when I say like I want to ask these people, well, why would you want to specialize in just this type of surgery or just this type of like specialty, like or you just want to have just this type of practice? It just makes you think, because if you're not some type of weirdo, and I'm not saying people are, but if you're not some type of weirdo, I'm sure you're going to have all types of reasons, and throughout your life you like, yeah, my mother went through this, da, 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 or unfortunately, you might be like, nah, bro, I thought it was a cool thing and I just studied hard and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, well, and it's not that you have to have some type of like meaningful reason, I guess, but it just makes you think sometimes that there's like kind of a little odd thing there. If you're a man specializing in this, or if you're a woman and all you specialize in is like replacing a male, you know what I mean, body part. And it's just like, it just makes you
different.
Think, yeah, it's kind of quirky. It's a little different. It's a little strange, but it's not about judgment. It's just about thinking like, well, why would you want to do that? Like,
who knows?
Like people
probably pays good.
Oh, yes, 100%. If you're a doctor, bro, don't get me wrong. That shit probably pays amazing, but it just, and that's obviously a part of it. You want to be able to wear the white coat and, yeah, I'm a doctor, and oh, Mr. Such and Such. No, call me Dr. Such and Such. Like, you know what I mean? You just want to be on that.
Honestly, man, like, do you know how that kind of appealed to me to keep just going with like my studies, even though I wouldn't be like a medical doctor, I would have been like a doctor in like English or whatever. But like, just see it. Like, I watched this debate the other day with this PhD, a legit like PhD, and this guy was just like like stuck in like the 1800s his brain. Like it was just like, how can you like actually say these things as an accredited, like supposed to be accredited like person? You're like literally stuck in like 1834. Like, huh? Like it just doesn't compute to me. So it was just like, and then at the other hand, it's like, motherfucker, I could have been that. This could have been me. You know what I mean? Like, could have been, I could be, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's just like, nah, not my call. It's not for me at the same time. It's just a matter of like we were talking about earlier, like growing and all that, but a matter of finding what you want to do too at the same time and grow into that.
Yeah, it helps,
And
man.
yeah,
It helps when you're.
I'm just taking it one day at a time right now because like, yeah, I still don't know. I'm still floating through this.
And that's the thing, Trent. I'm starting to kind of realize, like, for example, me saying like what I want to be, like, oh, I want to be in this field of medicine, or I want to whatever. That's not the end all be all for my goal, too. Even if I accomplish and get such and such degree, and I can technically go into this hospital field and work in this place and do this, it's not my end goal. And like as you're saying, like you're taking one day at a time to find what you're trying to do or find what you want to be. There might not be an end goal in that regard. Like you might want to do multiple things in life, and there's no set like barrier or set like definition of what you have to do.
We
Set
make our own way.
but that's the thing. We sometimes feel like, no, I have to get to this profession, work for 40 years, and then retire at 65 and da 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 da. When you might get to a certain profession, you might go to school, get the credentials to be a doctor or be a whatever, work as a doctor for 6 years, and realize, damn, I went to school longer than I've been a doctor, and I don't even want to be a doctor anymore. And then you get out of medicine, all these types of things in life, no one's path is the same. And I've realized that us taking the barriers off ourselves and being like, yo, okay, I want to accomplish this, I want to accomplish this. But if I don't, it's not my end all be all. And I'm not going to let that just define my life. As long as you're giving breath and you actually have like an outlook towards life where you feel you want to make moves or feel like you want to improve or feel like you want to make connections with whatever, whether it's nature, another person, whatever, you're kind of living still. Like there's no way around that in my opinion. Keep living, keep trying to do new things. Try not to stress yourself to an anxiety point, you know?
And yeah, I couldn't have said it any better there. Holy, like, especially with the stress yourself to anxiety too. Like, oh, whew, it's just too easy of a default for us. And that's just, I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And frankly, it's not conducive. Like you gotta take this like you said with a measured approach and just like take it calm and take it slow.
Yeah, man. And it's never real judgment or trying to put people at fault or or blame people. But sometimes when we are faced with situations that cause us to be a little anxious, see if you can withstand it versus go like trying to jump to like a way to cope, whether it's a vice, whether it's being abusive to somebody else, like passing off that thing that inconvenienced you. Try to
Projection.
try to embrace the moment when you're faced with something that might inconvenience you and cause a little anxiety. And once you weather that storm, so to speak, you'll realize certain things are a little easier. What do they say? Smooth waters never make experienced sailors or skilled sailors or some shit like that.
Something like that.
I don't know the exact expression, but to the people listening, I hope you kind of can grasp it. But yeah, man, if that's it, we can wrap up and let you know.
I couldn't have said it. Like I got nothing, man. You got me there.
It's all good. No, it's all good. Again, bro, I just to the people listening, just again, try to embrace whether it's a good quote unquote good or quote unquote bad moment. Try to embrace that shit. Try not to just push it off or neglect your actual feeling. Like attack that shit head on and face that shit.
It all comes back to what we were talking about bettering yourself. It's all a part of that. It's all about like just being a little bit stronger because of this and taking a little bit of the time.
Facts. Wait, To the people listening, my name is Graham,
I'm Trent.
and this is another episode of Ultra Fly Talk. Thanks for rocking with us.